Hi, this is Edward Troxel, and today we're going to look at what happens when you add a small image to the timeline in Vegas. You will see that it actually fills the whole screen when you may want it to be actually the original size. So we're going to look at writing a script that will return this to the original size. If you've got any suggestions for any scripts, please leave a comment below and let me know what you'd like to see, and if you'd subscribe, that would help as well. So let's see how we can get a logo back to its original size. To really demonstrate this, I'm going to start a new project, and I'm going to start a 4K project so that it will be a very large display area, and then I'm going to add a smaller image to the timeline. So now we have a smaller image added to the timeline, and we can see that it fills the full display area, when in fact we might want it to actually look like this. So this is shrunk back down to its original size, which we could then move wherever we needed it to be. So now we need to figure out what code it's going to take to get it back down to this original size. And in order to do that, we're also going to have a couple of subroutines that we will use. I want to go down and look at the subroutines first. In this case, we're going to need a subroutine to get the active media stream. So we have a subroutine that's going to return a media stream, and it's called getActiveMediaStream, and we're going to pass it the track event that we're looking at. So if this track event is not a valid active take, if the active take is not valid, then we're going to throw an exception and exit the routine. If it is valid, then we're going to get a media type variable called media, and then we're going to get this by doing a find in the media pool to find this actual path. So we're looking for the media path of the actual active take in the media pool and trying to find it. If we could not find it, then we're going to simply say that media was not there. Naturally, if we have something selected on the timeline, the media should be there. So what we're going to do is now get our media stream variable, and we'll call it media stream. Then we're going to get the media streams, and we're going to get the item by type, and the type we're looking for is the video type. And then we want the active take stream index. So if the active take was not stream index 0, the first one, then that would mean that there was more than one video stream in that file. So we're going to get whichever stream it was displayed. And then we are going to return that media stream. This part here is the catch if we threw an error message above. So this throw or this throw, if either one of those activates, it's going to do this catch. And so that's why we have our try catch in here. Now let's look at the next subroutine that we need to create. First of all, it is a public void, which means it is not going to return anything. And we're going to call this one scale keyframe. So this is going to change the size of that keyframe back to its original size. So we are passing it the keyframe, which is a video motion keyframe. We are passing it a float, which is the size change, and a float for the rotation angle. Naturally, our rotation angle is going to be 0. So we need to get a new float, which is going to be our change width. And this is going to be 1 divided by the size change divided by 100. And then our change height is also going to be 1 divided by the size change divided by 100. So if our size change is greater than 100, then we want to change this divided by 100 again. Just in case it was actually going to be bigger than 100%, then we want to go ahead and make it smaller. So then we create a new video motion vortex using the new width and the new height. And we create a new bounds variable for that video motion vortex. Then for that keyframe, we go to scale by and we use that new bounds. And then this one here is if we had sent it a rotation, then it would have rotated by this particular angle using this command here. Now that we have our subroutines created, let's go back and look at the main routine that is going to use these two subroutines. So here is our main routine. The first thing I'm going to do is going to get the original width as a float, and I'm going to get that from Vegas Project Video Width, and then I'm going to get the original height from myvegas.project.video.height. Then for each track, call it my track in vegas.project.tracks, first of all we're going to see, is this a video track? If it is, then we're going to go through each event in mytrack.events. Now one thing we probably should do here is add an if selected. So let's go ahead and add that. If event.selected, and we'll open the bracket there, come down here and put our close bracket. Notice everything scooted over for me automatically. So if that event is selected, then we're going to take that event and turn it into a video event. So our video event becomes video event from this event. And now here is where we call that subroutine. So we're going to pass it the original event that we looked at, and we're going to get the media stream in return. Now that we have the media stream, we need to get the video stream. So we're going to convert that basically the same way we converted from a video event. So the video stream equals the media stream as video stream. That's basically the same thing as doing this. We could put video stream there and then get rid of the as video stream. And that would make it the same as this line up here in format. Then we have a float. I'm going to get the full height equals the video stream dot height. So how big is the image that I put on the timeline? Now we need to get our video motion keyframes. So our video keyframes equals our video event dot video motion dot keyframes. That's all of the keyframes. So for each video motion keyframe, we'll just call it myKF in video keyframes. Let's delete this line because I don't need to do that. So we want to get the float, and the width is the absolute value of the top right x minus the top left x. So we're basically finding the width of that image. Then same thing here, our height is the absolute value of the bottom left y minus the top left y. And the reason we want to get the absolute value is just in case our numbers are backwards. We don't want to come up with a negative number, we want the number to be positive. Then I created a new variable here, which is a float, and set it to 0. And this is where we're going to get our percentage. So our percentage width is where we're going to set this. If our video stream height is greater than our source height, then we're going to do a video stream height divided by our absolute value height times 100. If it is not, then we are going to get our absolute value height divided by our source height, which is up here, remember, that's our project height times 100. And then we are going to scale the keyframe by this amount, and as we said, we're going to set our rotation value to 0. So once again, let's run this, and we will see it did get smaller. And if we go in and look at the pan crop settings, Now you'll see this says 2181.1 and 2304.0. You might expect it to see, say, 4096 by 2304. Actually, it was using the 2304 as the closest value, and that's what it's set to. But because this one did not match the aspect, that is why this does not say 4096. So to get that to actually say 4096, we'd have to match output aspect. If we do a match output aspect and run it again, now you will see that it says 4096 by 2304. So if you don't do the match aspect first, it's going to match one of the aspects but not necessarily the other. Here's the big difference between the two. Let's go back and change it to here. And if we go in and try to move this, you will notice that it starts cutting off as we get toward the outer edges. Whereas if we do the match aspect first and then run it, when we go in and move to the outside edges, now we can go all the way to the outside corners. So at this point, we have a script that will return a logo back to its original size. The only problem is it hasn't done the match aspect. The script can also do the match aspect, but that's more than I can show in this one little tutorial. Perhaps we'll get to that in a future one if you'd like to see that. Would you like to see match aspect done from a script? If yes, let me know in the comments, and please subscribe, and we'll see you on the next tutorial. Please sign up at www.JETDV.com and subscribe on YouTube to get further notifications on when new videos are presented.